Hi guys, it's Bible Girl. So, a while back when I talked about the MTV Movie Awards, someone said, I like when you do random, so here's my random. Today, I'm going to talk about a book series I started reading in the summer and I'm almost done with. I'm not there yet, so it's called Cirque. I was watching Eric with no K. If you don't know who he is, you totally should watch him because he's awesome. Be in the description. So, I was watching Eric with no K, and he was talking about this movie coming out called Cirque, The Vampire's Assistant. And I was curious because, as you guys know, I like vampires. So, I watched the trailer and was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So, I started reading during the summer, and it has become this fun little thing. It's not written for adults, and it's very much written to the level it's marketed to. It's like junior high fiction almost, but the stories are fun, and I'm not a book snob. So you have to get over the writing and how the stories work a little bit to the writing because it's for that genre and that age group. But when you get over that, it's really fun. It's about this guy named Darren. Obviously spoilers. I'll be doing spoilers from book 1 through part of book 10, which is what I'm on. It's about this boy named Darren, and he's growing up, and he's got this one friend who's a bit of a jerk, but he likes him. His name's Steve, and they end up going to this circus, this freak show, and they find out that, well, Steve finds out that this guy there is a vampire because he's all into vampires. And he wants to become one, and he gets all angry when they won't turn him because he has evil blood. So Steve goes away, and eventually what happens is Darren steals something that belongs to the vampire, this spider that can do really cool tricks, and Steve gets bitten by the spider. And the only way to save him is if Darren agrees to be Mr. Creepsley, the vampire's assistant. And the book starts going through trials and tribulations of being an assistant, losing his family. He gave everything for his friend, which is a pretty good value. And he gives up all that stuff, and he starts living this life, and it's kind of fun. The first few books, I think, aren't as exciting as later on, because they have to present him at Vampire Mountain, which is where vampire royalty is. They go through this whole thing, and eventually the only way for Darren to be cool is he has to become a prince. So they turn him into a vampire prince, and now he's like the top class of vampires, even though he's not full vampire yet, which is just awesomely fun. And a war gets started between the vampires and the Vampanese, and the Vampanese are like bad vampires but are purple. They kill people, vampires don't. So Darren's all fighting them, and there's this cute little love story in there which starts with him and this young girl named Debbie. And eventually Debbie is much older, but he hasn't aged a lot. So she's a school teacher, and they're in love still, and it's pretty fun. I got really sad when Mr. Creepsley died. Again, I said spoilers, and before that, the girl he loved, a vampire named Ara, died, and that was pretty sad. I'm excited to find out what happens next. I'm reading 10, and it's not as fast-paced as I was like. Some of the books aren't. The mountain stuff in the beginning of the war is really cool. They're out of the war for a little bit, so I'm not as excited. But I want to find out what happens. I want to see Darren win. So I'm assuming the good guys are going to win in the end. Metaphors and stuff in there, it's not as heavy as other things. There's definitely an issue with pride, though. And I know from my position and my religion, if you put things before God, and if you put things before what matters, pride's gonna just eat you up. And what happens in the books is vampires are so prideful, like they'd rather die. They get maimed and mangled in the name of pride. And I think it might not be intentional, but I definitely see how idiotic pride is presented a lot better in this book series. So I'm excited to see it. I'm really excited to see the movie, despite the fact that it's different. The movie introduced me to the books, so I can never get mad at them. And I actually think the movie might be a little better, because the first 3 books were a little slow for me, and it's based after the first 3. So, see you guys later. I'm off to church. Have a good day, and God bless. Bye.